bitches! Yes! Yes!
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and we're going to look at some requests this time around. This one is of the game called Megatack, and it should be spelled like a combination of the words mega and attack, but it just has one T, which is stupid. But this was suggested by YouTube user DryerLint17, although it may have been requested in the past, and I just forgot who asked. But this is a Space Invaders type of game created by Game Plan and licensed to Centuri in 1980. And I am really not impressed with this one. This game consists of two different stages that just repeat over and over again, although there are different enemies in the first of the two stages. First stage consists of Space Invaders, and they will drop lasers straight down at you, and they can reach the bottom, and when they do, they just kind of bounce along the ground until you destroy them. And your ship, at least in the first stage, can fire in 3 directions at once, although that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's just 2 directions instead of 3. This game is technically flawed. The second stage consists of one object appearing, and it's this weird bubble thing, and it expands as you fail to destroy it. And when you do destroy it, it will spit out more bubbles. And I almost look at the second stage as sort of a bonus round, because these things don't fire at you. But if you take too long and let the bubble expand too far, it will act as a black hole and it will suck your ship in, and that stage will end and you will lose a life. However, you get an extra life every 20,000 points. And the further you get in the game, the higher the value of the enemies becomes. And it can be a maximum of 900 points. After that, then it resets to 700 and goes back up to 900, and then then that just repeats. And now we'll go ahead and get started. You can shoot the enemy's shots to cancel them out. You won't get any points for that. But like I said, you can shoot 3 directions at once, but that doesn't always happen. You might be able to shoot in 3 directions at once, like 2 or 3 times in a row, but then after that, you'll only be able to shoot 2 of those directions, and then you go back to 3 directions. It's really technically flawed. And see, this enemy will bounce on the ground, and you'll need to either scoot under him or try to get him in the diagonal fire of your ship. So your ship shoots diagonally to the left, straight up, and diagonally to the right. Those are the directions that it shoots. And here is that second stage. And on the second stage, you will see the numbers appear for how much the enemy is worth. And again, it'll start at 100 points, But once you face that stage the second time around, it'll be 200 points, and then 300, and 400, and then 500, up to a maximum of 900. And then, like I said, then it repeats back, or it reverts back to 700, and then 800, 900, and then back to 700, and 800, 900, and repeats. Now, early on, the enemy shots are not fast. And note that the enemies can sneak through the warp edges to the left or right, and resume their bouncing movement if they're low enough. This game is really quite easy for a while at least, but eventually the enemy's shots fall very, very, very fast. And these things expand much quicker, making it harder for you to finish the stage without getting sucked into the black hole. And this game is noisy and just not very good. I do not recall seeing this ever before. I've heard players talk about it in more recent years, but I had never come across this back in my day. I did see some of the other game plan games, but not ones that Game Plan themselves made. Game Plan were, what's the word, licensors? Or is it licensees? Of other games that were created by other companies, like Namco, or Namco for King and Balloon, or what was it, Tong Electronics that made Pot of Gold, and that was licensed to Game Plan. I'd seen that in arcades before, but not this one. But yeah, you have this bubble scenario on every second stage, and it will end prematurely, and you will lose a life if you let the one of the bubbles grow big enough to suck you in, and then you just go on to the next stage. I am not impressed with this one, but notice that the enemy shots are now starting to fall a little bit faster. Just try to, if you can, try to get the enemies into a diagonal shot range, because the enemies could kind of corner you with their shots and get you in a position where you can get nailed. Just my general strategy is to just keep wailing on the fire button. Like I said, even though your ship can fire in 3 directions at once, it won't always do that. So just keep wailing on the fire button and try to get the enemies into the range of your diagonal shots. They can try to surround you with their fire, making it hard for you to get out from underneath without getting shot. Now, I don't think... maybe these enemies can ram you, the ones that are way low. I don't think that the bubble enemies on the even-numbered stages can hit you, can collide with you. Eventually the shots get very, very, very fast in this game, and it's very hard to avoid getting nailed. One thing you might try to do on this stage is enemies that you just shot, more enemies will spawn from right around that same area, so try to shoot in that same area to maybe nail the next enemy just as it appears. Yeah, this has very annoying sound effects, some flawed technicalities about it, just not very good. But again, those enemies on this stage, whoops, they can sneak through the edges of the screen. And if they're bouncing on the ground, I guess I can't really think of a more appropriate analogy than that. Don't worry about having to back away. Just keep wailing on that fire button, and you should eventually be able to nail them with your diagonal shot. Yeah, that will cost you life, being sucked away by a black hole or whatever that's supposed to be. Hope you had a great weekend. I went to my folks' old house for my dad's 80th birthday. Looked like it was gonna rain, but it didn't. Yeah, see, their shots are so much faster this time around. But again, note that your shots are not the same on the second stage, or the even-numbered stages. You just have a single shot, but you can shoot multiple of them at a time. And again, you can get an extra life every 20,000 points. Yeah, I did not see this in arcades. I would not have been very impressed. And I am not impressed. Oops. Yeah, I think you can stock extra lives if you're not losing lives for some time. I think you can just stock the extra ones. Yeah, these sound effects, music, whatever you want to call it, very annoying, very hard on the eardrums, I think. But your extra lives are called space pods. And we've gotten to the maximum amount of points for the enemies. And on the second stage after that, they would have also been 900 points. And then again after that, oh god, this is annoying. Hard on the eardrums. It would have reverted back to 700, and then back to 800, then 900, then back to 700, etc. And notice that your high score is at the bottom left. Yeah, and at the... Well, that's the high score of the machine, and then your high score of the day, I guess, or the one that you just finished, is at the top left. And there's a scoring list. Yeah, not a particularly great game. That is Megatack, created by Game Plan and licensed to Centuri in 1980. This is Crazy Climb Race, and thanks for watching. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you with another request soon. Bye-bye, folks.